I just take my minutes to two other rules. Just 5 more minutes. Yesterday, I just wanted to point out the UGC regulations. That is sought to be relied upon by the UGC, and that applies. Page 87 is the regulation. Yes. These regulations are framed in exercise of powers conferred under Section 26, right, with Section 14 of the UGC Act. Now, 87, I kindly see at 89, Regulation 3.4. I'm just reading 3.4 minutes. A minimum of 55% marks or an equivalent grade in a point scale wherever the grading system is followed at master level shall be the essential qualification for direct recruitment of teachers and other equivalent cadres at any level. Kindly note, so therefore the word that they have used is essential qualification. So this is the basic essential qualification, that is a postgraduate degree with 55% marks. Now, the reliance of the UGC is on Regulation 4.0. Same page, bottom of the page. Yes. Direct recruitment for the disciplines of arts, commerce, humanities, education, law, social sciences, so and so. Assistant professor. Assistant professor is the same nomenclature that is used for lecturers. Assistant professors is equivalent to lecturer. Eligibility, kindly note, the same is reiterated. A master's degree with 55% marks or an equivalent grade in a point scale, wherever the grading system is followed, in a concerned relevant allied subject from an Indian university or an equivalent degree from an accredited foreign university. Now, kindly see the next clause, minutes. This is what I'm mentioning as an additional qualification, because there is what is called as an essential qualification, because the wordings here is besides fulfilling the above qualification. Kindly note this, the next page. Besides fulfilling the above qualification, the candidate must have cleared the national eligibility test conducted by the UGC or the CSIR or a similar test accredited by the UGC like SLET, SET, or who have been awarded a PhD degree in accordance with the University Grants Commission and their amendments from time to time, as the case may be exempt from NET, SLET, SET. So, the minimum qualification, the essential qualification that is prescribed is a postgraduate degree. Additionally, what they have said is pass in a NET or a SLET. If you have a PhD, you are exempted from NET and SLET. This is the undisputed position. Now, in the state of Karnataka, as I said, from 2003, we have been taking guest lecturers with the minimum who have the essential qualification.
Sorry to interrupt, that is not the undisputed position. The Supreme Court in 2050 itself has said that even with the PhD, NET is necessary, and even it has come here.
I'll just
I'll clarify after.
Now, this regulation applies in respect of regular direct recruitments that are made to the post of lecturers or assistant professors. Now, there is one more extract of this regulation, which is at Regulation 13, which is not immediately produced. It is at 263. May kindly be seen. Regulation 13, is at 263.
Yes.
Regulation 13, bottom of the page at 263. Appointments on contract basis. It's the same regulation. The teachers should be appointed on contract basis only when it is absolutely necessary and when the student-teacher ratio does not satisfy the laid down norms. In any case, the number of such appointments should not exceed 10% of the total number of faculty positions in a college university. The qualifications and selection procedure for appointing them should be the same as those applicable to regularly appointed teachers. So kindly note this, my lords. This is in respect of the contract employees.
According to them, contract will get.
My lord,
Lords, guest is a different. Lords, guest is only on the basis of contract. My lords, is where I understand. Lords, it could partake almost the similar nature, but contract basis means where you are
The
appointed.
guest mentioned it.
Guest is not mentioned, my lords. I'm saying
You can't see. Look at the import of your argument. They have said lecturers and persons must have the minimal qualifications, essential qualifications. They specify.
please, my lords.
And they said this is how an assistant professor would be. You can take 10% of contract, but your main body of your lecturers in your faculty should be regular.
Please, my lords.
You say there is another
Third category,
there is a third cadre which they don't mention, but
which is not
will
mentioned
have,
here.
and therefore there are no qualifications for it.
No, I'm not saying no qualification. Essential.
In extreme, if we test it,
No,
then there is not even an essential qualification.
No,
There is no cadre for that.
No, we are not saying that, my lords.
There is no cadre, there is no qualification. You can pick and choose anybody to make
No,
them a
that
lecturer.
third category, my lords, is also, my lords, guest faculty is recognized by the UGC.
Tell us where it's recognized for qualifications.
No, they have not specified, it is not specified in the regulations. What they do is, insofar as they say by virtue of communications,
The assumption, the fundamental premise
please, my lords.
that you can have a guest lecturer who will do the same job as your regular lecturer
I get it.
and who will do the same job as your
Contract lecture.
contract listening, will have a lesser level of education, militates against the very object of putting a qualification. Why must you put a qualification?
Please, my lords, minimum standards. The idea, my lords, is minimum standards. So I get
There is
that
a
argument.
standard of qualification that must have.
Please, my lords.
They are ultimately put in the position of teaching. You can't subvert this. This is subverting setting.
So, my lords, what we, my lords,
That's what the learned senior judge tells you, that please make sure that these qualifications are complied with.
please, my lords,
So you are saying you've got a requirement for guest lecturers is so huge.
this has
And it
come out in,
happens,
lords, our sanction strength, my lords, is around 7,000 odd, my lords, where we have filled up around 6,000 odd posts, my lords. With regard to the workload, my lords, that additional workload that has to be taken care of, it has to be by virtue of guest lecturers, and we require around 10,000. This regulations came in force.
can't have your regular 6,000 and additional work is 10,000. It's not like it's not the tail wagging the dog.
My lords, guest lecture contract has to be limited to 10% as per the UGC regulations. Guest lecturer, my lords, it is again I have to sanction the post based on my workload.
See, there is a clear anomaly. You are saying your sanction strength on which you are doing is 6,000. Your requirement for guest lecturers is 10,000. Your guest lecturers are running the college, or others are virtually a minority.
Lords, sanction
And
strength.
there you're pleading that you don't require to give the qualification is specified. How do you expect?
As only as a matter of it's 2018 these regulations have come into force.
It's about time you bring your house in order. That's all. Go
my
for it.
lord,
That's what we are saying, lords. That's what that's what we are
The
saying.
only way to bring your house in order is to make sure that
Is to make
everybody
sure-
who meets the qualification is done, who doesn't do that.
Please, my lords. Now, my lords, from 2003 onwards, we had this system, my lords, where every year, my lords, we used to hold a counseling on the basis of the points we had shown. Now, my lords, for 2024-25, if my lords permit us, my lords, to operate it, then, my lords, we can condition may be put.
Still continue. This is the fact that you are saying that there will be 3 marks for every year that a person works in as a guest lecturer
Please,
makes it 48% out of 100%. You perpetuated this guest lecturer as an institution which runs which is larger than the main body faculty.
please,
What
sanction is-
principle are you?
Parallel recruitment, which is you are handling.
Yes, I get it. Sanction strength
You
is
go through the whole process, you'll have a counseling, you'll have applications, you'll have 10,000 persons year after year, but you will not appoint them on the regular post on the.
the latest appointment took place for 1,400 or 1,200 odd posts, which took around 4 years for the
These are
recruitment.
only ad hoc.
These are ad hoc. These are ad hoc.
Ad hoc.
These are ad hoc.
We can understand somebody who's a person of great eminence,
Please,
whom your university decides to say, please come as and become a guest lecturer for 1 month. Our students will benefit from your experience and acumen. That one can understand that stands outside this qualification area. He may not have passed his NEET examination. You may have somebody who is a very acclaimed economist, somebody who is very acclaimed in something else. He comes as a guest lecturer and volunteers. You have judges of Supreme Court who go and, you may, for somebody who's willing to volunteer, ask them, no, please, for our law students, run 2 classes a week. One can understand
that kind of
a invitation for guest lecturers, as the name suggests. Can't understand that you institute it.
Because is what we are placing. In fact, that is the case. 7,187 is a sanction strength.
See, there,
working is
the
6,190.
whole fundamental premise,
Please,
that a guest lecturer is a third cadre,
please.
is not what they're agreeing to. That's a fundamental dispute.
Please.
And you are asking us to accept that beyond these regulations, there is another institution of a guest lecturer.
No, we are not saying, Milords, that these regulations do not apply. The regulations, Milords, per se.
Which regulations which have a qualification. The qualification is for a purpose. The qualification is that anybody who teaches the students is required to have this qualification.
Please.
This principle is subverted. The fundamental premise, it goes to the root of the qualifications. It doesn't, it's not perfunctory on the periphery. You are saying, forget the qualification, we'll have somebody who will attain these qualifications in next 3 years. And because we do it by year to year to year, we'll give them marks for every year successively.
My lord, sorry.
Can I just put it?
Please sit down.
Can I just put it this way, Milords?
Please sit down. Take your seat.
Essential qualification is the word that they've used, then the additional qualification. We are insisting on the essential qualification. It's not that I'm giving a go by to the essential qualification. And net and SLET, Milords,
The question is very simple. Will you appoint a regular assistant professor?
No, I cannot.
With a qualification which is less than this?
No,
That is the essential qualification. If you cannot appoint an assistant professor less than the qualifications that you have provided, you cannot have somebody on contract or other basis which is less than the qualifications which are required. You may not be able to go through the recruitment process immediately, and therefore you may want to, for an ad hoc so that students don't suffer, get a person of an equivalent qualification to teach it. That one can understand. But one can't understand this humongous number. Your number will never come down.
Please, Milords.
These numbers, guest lecturers can never come down.
Please.
If you're
Unless I increase the sanctions.
Tell us,
Yes,
how are you agree? I mean, what interference would you want from this?
Can I just, yesterday my lords wanted me to file a memo along with the statistics, my lords. I've got the updated.
We thought for a purpose that we can.
Please, not only that, we have updated the statistics, my lords. We have called for applications from both the sides but we have not held any counseling in view of the fact, my lords, that the matter is pending. Can I just show, my lords, how many applications we have received from the persons who have the essential, who have the net and who don't have the net? I have those statistics. I'll just pass it on. Let's kindly see the fourth. Yesterday, one tabulated statement is also incorporated herein, plus 2 new tabulated statements, Milords. Kindly see page 4 for a moment, Milords.
Yes.
Page 4. Let's guest faculty engaged for 24-25. I've given the statistics. It's 10,303 Milords. Now we require almost a similar number for 25-26. Now applications that we had received for 25-26 Milords is 49,702. My lords, get it, Milords?
49,702. Yeah.
Out of this, Milords, we have bifurcated applications received with qualifications with net SLET PhD is 20,504.
Yes.
And applications with qualification without net SLET PhD is 29,198.
Yes.
Now, Milords, so
you have your, how much is your vacancy?
Its vacancies around 10,000. It will be around 10,000.
You have twice the number of persons who are fully qualified.
But in some subjects, there will be shortfall. Not in all subjects.
In some subjects, when you have, for example, you look at.
I'll just let's point out. Let's in serial number 7, there will be shortfall Milords of 810 if only NET qualified candidates are taken into consideration. Serial number 7, computer science.
That we can understand that ad hoc Ad hoc measure, you may take persons who don't have,
Please.
who may not have qualifications, but where your number of applications exceed the number of applications from qualified assistant exceed the number.
Shortfall is only in 6 subjects as of now, out of this 45 subjects. And the major shortfall is only in computer science, serial number 7. And serial number 14, my lords, we have 61 shortfall, but rest of it is in one is.
Look at, for example, 6 commerce.
Please, my lords. It's
Application received is 7,663.
and out of the 3,343 is qualified. I require
No, 1:3. You have a choice of 1:3.
1:3. Please,
In average choice is 1:2. Some you have 1:3.
please.
Some you have less. So that
Let's just one more statistics. The previous page, my lords, page 3.
so we thought you wanted an interim order because you would not be able to fill it. You can fill up the vacancies in all of them for guest lecture.
Let's in the previous page, my lords, from 2003, since we had continued this, my lords, and we have been giving weightage. If my lords may see,
There is a question now, weightage. Weightage goes out if you are fundamentally.
so even among selecting among those people, the weightage will be added because even persons who have been working. Even in the previous year,
If you have 3 applicants
please,
for 1 post,
please.
and you want to add additional experience, and there is no criteria that is fixed by UGC, you can go ahead and evolve a criteria where you give them, so long as it's not arbitrary, there's no issues. We don't see any issue on that, subject to what the other council may say.
No, we are intervening applicants, supporting the government, because, my lords, we have been working for years as guest lecturers.
This is not a prescriptive.
And there are, my lords, several
not a
petitions before the single judge.
This is not a prescriptive right.
My lords, I understand, but, my lords, we are almost, my lords, in our 50s today. And, my lords, we start, my lords, then we will be neither here. And anyway, our writ petitions are pending before the learned single judge, my lords. If
That's all right. You can do whatever happens in your.
this
We
should
are
not.
on a short appeal on this. Can we fault the learned single judge or what is said? And the answer, prima facie, is no, subject to what the council.
Please. Let's in the previous.
We don't find any fault what the learned single judge.
Pursuant to the.
All that I said is you must do so.
Please, my lords, one
Only
observation.
qualification subject to what we say in those cases where there are no applicants.
Lord, there are 2 things, my lords. There are, the UGC regulation itself says it doesn't prescribe net or select in some of the subjects. Then they don't have it, they can adopt. Computer science is one subject.
Well, let's see computer sciences. There's an issue in computer sciences. They are in 7 subjects. We'll have to stop here. There is another bench that will assemble at 4:45. We can continue tomorrow.
Please,
This is a short.
please, I get it.
How long are you going to take?
May make one.
How long are
Because
you
I
going
think